Hey everyone, how are you? I'm Kayaz, and this is called Never Ever Be Like Nebuchadnezzar. So I'm going to read it. So brace yourself. Are you ready? Never ever be like Nebuchadnezzar. I thought it was clever. Advice to one day give a son, fragrantly reading the Bible pages, hoping to never be like Nebuchadnezzar. He was a pagan king that made all the citizens give offerings to him. The life of pride in heights so high. Babylon so great, it made the blind apostle see it and cry. It's a pleasure with mysteries inside, something the children of Eve can't resist, the same disease we loved amiss. Don't dismiss it. The plot was the same gist. It's not on Netflix. A sweet and simple kiss with a twist. Swallowed in my own shallow grave. Swallowed in my own shallow grave, saved from a killer whale. I heard it speak with a lisp. I never did miss a serpent's tongue when it slips. For sure, God brought me back to shore again. The toxic turned tonic, back on topic on top of it. The narrow path in the Hallow Canyon roads. A solo holy rose that rose through the prose. I won't offer hallow praise, because you're worth all the gold and more. In a twirled and warped hole, in a twirled and warped hole, I got a hold of a rope, holding on to hope, turned on the hose and washed off the dirt and spores with soap. Strangely, though, it felt the same in many ways. It was an incalculable rate of change. Stale and stained with paste, accelerated love in haste, making many minds awake and take note. The king's golden dream, following me, staring at me as I brush my teeth diligently, intelligently, I affirm it again. I will never be like Nebuchadnezzar. I flush away the dirt staining my flesh, a mess inside my balls, simple sips of alcohol, a tipping point, a loss of control, flirting on the phone, in the back seat all alone, and doing some more. You know how it goes. But there's a voice loitering that questions my choices. The small is an all after all. The pride I tried to hide came to light. The king was crazy in the wilderness for years. I've been in the same twisted desert, refusing to drink from the living, breathing, ethereal waters, spitting out my own combustible piss, distill it with vodka. Egyptian pyramids amidst Babylonian magicians. Egyptian pyramids amidst Babylonian magicians, making the invisible god illegitimate. It's out of whack, in fact, a king like him turned into a village idiot. God is God, period. He dreamed a dream, sinned a sin, but found the grace in him to repent, and it's written in the Holy Script. He turned his life around from worshipping the pagan things. He admitted that there's a king of kings. I look around and see all the things that I'm worshipping still. A sin that still veneers my sin. What Paul would call a thorn. The word is equipped to split the meat where it meets technically. It's thicker than thieves. My own flesh stealing from me. It's me in these jeans, but inside it's a dude I used to be, making a fool of me, fool of the stupid things I could even bring a king, making a fool of me, fool of the stupid things I could even bring a king to kneel. Aren't they the same things that I'm still chasing still? Who's the one that's still eating with the pigs, foraging multiple mutilated carcasses, left from the feral carnages? Who's the one who's still rejecting the medicine and insists? Who's the one who's still rejecting the medicine and insisting they're so free from sin? Is it me or him? Is the pride inside getting me high on my own supply? Hope is making sense, but it makes me sick to see me then. I'm healing still, been healing since. Like that king that came from the wilderness. And now I know I speak as an African, but there's things that the Spirit changed in me deep within to make me make this page. Oh, what an amazing grace that saved a wretch such as myself. It's me who's in need and no one else. I said I'll never be like King Nebuchadnezzar. But was I never Nebuchadnezzar? So that's it. Never be like King Nebuchadnezzar. So, this came about as a thought that just happened to happen in passing because I was preparing videos to make for you guys right here. And then this thought just came of making this. And then at first, I almost just brushed it off, just like, maybe I'll do it later. But the more that I wrote it, the more that it just came to life to me. So this actually gave me the inspiration, energy, motivation, encouragement to make this first video in order to just say, if you have an idea that you have, and everyone has those, that you've just put, that you've just brushed aside, some of those ideas are what make everything happen. And this actually is what started this channel. So I would be able to say in that way, I would like anyone, if you've had the idea like, oh, I should just have this channel on cooking, even if it's cooking or washing cars, if you do it to the glory of God, then it just makes the difference. So this is why I made Never Be Like Nebuchadnezzar. And this actually comes from the feeling of seeing someone like Nebuchadnezzar, knowing his background and knowing his information as a Babylonian king, that he was a pagan king. But when he came to when he came in contact with what was true to him, it changed his world. Everything changed for Nebuchadnezzar, such that he actually converted. And this is something that we might even not even see how our judgment of other people might be what stops them, because we are simply judging them. Because in this situation with Nebuchadnezzar, you wouldn't really know, like a king of Babylon would be converted so early before there were missionaries, but he was converted by the power of angels who made miraculous things happen specifically to him. And his story is miraculous. His story is very intense. The story of King Nebuchadnezzar is a very intense story. So within the book of Daniel, he writes his own letter of his own conversion. But beyond this, what actually made this so powerful for me was the theme of, like, let's say, we call it hypocrisy, which comes from feeling like you can see something wrong in someone, while you are the one who has something wrong, which is actually the first time I actually fell in love with the Bible, when I thought the Bible was so powerful. It's when I read this in Matthew 7. It says, ask and it shall be given to you, seek and you shall find, and we all love that. But it says in verse 3, and why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considers not the beam that is in thine own eye? So this was speaking of how the mote is something that's so small, but the beam is something that is huge. So that beam is something that is in us, but the mote is something small. It's in other people. So we focus on the small things that we see in other people, but we don't look at ourselves, and that's where we should beam into. And that's the message of that. And that's what I found in it, that we focus so much on Nebuchadnezzar and what he may have done, what he could have done. But we don't really focus on what we may do, what we can do ourselves. And this is why, never be like King Nebuchadnezzar. But was I? Never King Nebuchadnezzar. So it's like a self-reflection in me, Yes. So I hope you enjoyed it, by the way. Yes. And yes, see you soon.